The story begins with a man named Truong preparing to leave his home in the village early in the morning, planning to go harvest guava fruits just outside the village. The morning is hot but clear. The warmth of the sun promises a good day for harvesting. Truong's companion is invited but initially reluctant due to the heat and workload. However, Truong convinces the companion to take leave and accompany him to the guava orchard so they can work together. They prepare for the day's work, putting on boots and gathering tools. Their mood is light despite the hard work ahead. Walking to the orchard, they talk about the branches that have overgrown onto the path. They will need to cut some down to make harvesting easier. Truong notes this is likely the first time he gets to go guava picking with this companion, adding a sense of meaningful companionship to the labor. They proceed, ready for the day's work. Arriving at the guava trees, they are delighted by the abundance of fruit. The guavas are large and abundant, hanging thick on the branches. They prepare pillows and scissors, dividing the work carefully. Truong encourages the companion to pick low-hanging fruit while he climbs for the higher ones. They discuss how some fruits are wrapped to protect against worms, and they marvel at the size and sweetness of the guava. Truong carries the companion up to reach the higher fruits, an act that speaks to their close bond and mutual care. They rest whenever tired, supporting each other through the physical demands of harvesting fruit under the sun. The gesture of carrying one another, especially with the companion being lifted up to reach the higher branches, reveals tenderness amid the hard work. Their laughter and mutual teasing make the day joyful despite the physical exertion. After many hours of fruitful labor, the baskets fill with ripe fruit. They plan to take the guavas to the market. The anticipation of selling the guavas brings energy even as sweat drips and bodies tire. The pair continue harvesting enthusiastically. They compete playfully over who cuts more fruit, reflecting a comfortable, warm relationship they share. At the market, they sell the guava steadily. The companion interacts with buyers, some recognizing her as Dui's teacher, hinting at community ties. The guava is sold for 15,000 VND per kilo, and customers appreciate the quality and freshness. The playful banter of buyers calling for more fruit and the companion deftly packaging and selling guavas depicts an everyday slice of village life. The bustle of buyers, the exchange of money, and thanks all illustrate a cozy communal atmosphere driven by simple, honest work. Between selling and harvesting, moments of relaxation and joy punctuate the day. The companion invites Truong to join for ice cream or sweet soup. They find a shaded spot near the market, enjoying refreshing sugarcane juice, savoring the taste, and nourishing themselves after a taxing morning. Conversation drifts to personal matters. The companion mentions needing a haircut for Dui and plans for spending time after work. They talk about shared hardships and daily routines. There is a genuine warmth in their interactions, embodying human connection and mutual support underpinning village life. Truong expresses hesitance about leaving soon for a distant work mission. The companion senses his sadness, though he tries to hide it. They discuss how long Truong might be away, and the companion expresses fear that upon return, he might no longer be by her side. Truong reassures her, promising to keep in touch and that he will come back. The companion vows to wait for him, no matter how long it takes, highlighting themes of loyalty, love, and the pain of inevitable separation. Preparations for Truong's departure are bittersweet. The companion talks about moving in after he leaves, acknowledging that life will be harder alone, yet expressing acceptance. The emotion of parting mixes with hope and promises of reunion, showcasing the complexity of human relationships under strain. As the sun rises higher, they finish harvesting and begin packing up. There are jokes, laughter, moments of quiet reflection. The simple joy of working together in nature contrasts the gritty reality of village livelihoods and the pressure of impending separation. Their return trip is slower, marked by exhaustion but also satisfaction from the fruit gathered and sold. Talk of caring for each other and the hopeful anticipation of Truong's return underscore the narrative. Despite the workload and emotional challenges, there is abundant gratitude for the present moment, the land, and companionship. The story closes with tender scenes of family life. The companion takes care of young Dui, plays with him, and manages household chores. There are scenes of instruction and affection, teaching Dui good behavior, caring for him after work, and ensuring his happiness. The warmth of home contrasts with the toil of the fields and the uncertainties of departure. Overall, the narrative captures a richly detailed portrait of rural life centered on guava harvesting, community bonds, love, and resilience amid hardship. The story deepens on the characters' interactions, environment, and emotions, presents a vivid picture of toil, joy, and bittersweet separation framed within everyday moments full of tenderness and human connection. The story deepens as Truong and his companion, Tieu Nu, venture into the guava orchard together early in the morning, breaking new ground in their relationship. The intense sun and humidity set a challenging physical stage, but the companionship softens toil into shared joy. Their playful teasing, supportive gestures, and mutual care bring a tender warmth amid labor. The orchard is lush, heavy with ripe fruit, reflecting nature's abundance despite harsh conditions they endure daily. Each moment of harvesting reveals nuances of their bond. Truong's patience in carrying Tieu Nu to pick higher fruits, her eagerness to participate despite discomfort, and the lighthearted competition between them paint a vivid picture of connection forged through shared effort. These actions convey more than productivity. They reveal respect, care, and the gradual deepening of trust. Their conversations oscillate between simple observations about the fruit and profound emotional exchanges. Tieu Nu senses Truong's inner sadness, masked by determination as he prepares to leave soon for a long mission. Her quiet anxieties surface. She fears the separation and wonders if he will return unchanged, if she will still be here. Truong's reassurances, promises of faithful waiting, and declarations of unwavering affection underline complex feelings, love shadowed by inevitable partings. The narrative richly explores these emotions without overt dramatization, using natural dialogue and gestures to communicate depth. The pair's interactions embody the human themes of longing, loyalty, and the bittersweetness of departure. The mundane activities of work and rest are infused with greater meaning, capturing the intersection of daily survival and deeper human connection. Market scenes extend this exploration into the broader community context. The selling of guavas is portrayed not just as commerce, but as social performance and mutual support. The companions' interactions with familiar buyers reveal a network of relationships that sustain village life, culturally and economically. The freshness and quality of the fruit reflect both pride and necessity, matters of livelihood indistinguishable from familial identity. Throughout, the physical realities of rural life, heat, hard work, sweat, and fatigue ground the story in authenticity. Moments of refreshment, such as sharing sugarcane juice or eating ice cream, offer brief but meaningful reprieves. The natural world is a central presence, shaping routine and mood alike. The lushness of the orchard contrasts with the intensity of the sun, mirroring life's dualities. The story delves into themes of resilience amid hardship. The characters face physical and emotional challenges with determination and humility. Tieu Nu's repeated assurances that she can handle things alone when Truong is away reflect strength tinted with vulnerability. The promise to wait even if it's 10 years speaks to profound hope and commitment. These motifs resonate universally, transcending specific cultural settings. Family dynamics are gently but clearly developed. Care for young Dewey exemplifies nurturing responsibilities that intertwine with economic tasks. Attention to his learning, behavior, and well-being highlights the continuing blending of labor and love that defines their lives. Moments of play, instruction, and affection depict a multi-generational household intimately connected. The narrative's pacing, interweaving activity with emotion, dialogue with inner thought, creates a texture both rich and accessible. The story respects the subtleties of human relationship, showing how ordinary moments hold extraordinary significance. It avoids sentimentality, instead favoring honesty and complexity. Implicit social commentaries emerge on gender roles, labor division, and rural livelihood sustainability. Truong's willingness to take leave from work to share harvesting challenges traditional male roles in some rural cultures, suggesting adaptability and partnership. Tieu Nu's active participation underscores women's vital contributions often overlooked in broader narratives. In sum, this continuation richly develops the characters and setting, deepening thematic elements of love, loyalty, labor, and hope. It provides an immersive portrayal of rural life and human connection through detailed, continuous storytelling. The subtle interplay of hardship and joy shapes an emotionally resonant and thoughtfully nuanced depiction. The continuation of the story centers deeply on the character of Truong, the companion, and the broader contextual life as rural farmers navigating daily struggles, emotional bonds, and the weight of impending separation. The narrative intricately blends the harsh realities of farming labor with the tender and often unspoken emotional currents shaping their relationships. Truong is portrayed as a robust yet emotionally vulnerable figure whose identity is closely tied to his land and responsibilities. His decision to accompany his companion to harvest guava, despite the physical toll and the heat, reflects a commitment not only to work but to shared experience and support. This act symbolizes a departure from solitary labor to partnership and mutual reliance. His choice to walk rather than take a motorbike demonstrates a desire to slow down, to connect with the environment and the companion intimately. The careful observation of branches protruding onto the path and the need to prune them metaphorically suggests challenges in their relationship and life that must be managed and negotiated. The companion, often addressed as the baby or by affectionate terms, embodies youthful curiosity and gentle determination in a traditionally male-dominated agricultural context. Her eagerness to participate in the difficult task of harvesting, navigating the heat, and climbing to reach the highest guavas breaks down gendered labor boundaries. The narrative uses their interactions, playful teasing, shared effort, and physical support to depict a transformative dynamic where care, respect, and love blossom in the crucible of toil. Their harvesting ritual is etched with detailed naturalism. The guava orchard bursts with abundant fruit, and the process of picking, cutting, wrapping, selecting ripe fruit unfolds in tactile sensory richness. The act of carrying the companion up to reach the higher branches is emblematic of care transcending traditional role expectations, highlighting trust and vulnerability. This physical closeness contrasts with the emotional restraint often observed in rural masculinity, revealing nuanced expressions of affection. As the day progresses, the emotional tone deepens. Truong's hesitation and sadness when discussing his impending departure touch on universal themes of separation anxiety and the uncertainty of future reunion. The companion's response, promising to wait for years if needed, speaks to loyalties forged in life's trials. Their conversation eschews melodrama. Instead, moments of vulnerability arise naturally from honest interactions, lending authenticity to their emotional landscape. Selling the guavas at the market extends the story's social scope. The informal economic exchange manifests embedded social networks where roles interlock tightly. The companion's interactions with buyers, identified as familiar villagers, underscore communal trust and reciprocal dependency. The depiction of guava sales at fair prices, along with the generosity of buyers who welcome the fruit's quality, illustrates the crucial role of community markets in sustaining rural livelihoods. Everyday pleasures intersperse labor. Sharing sugarcane juice, eating ice cream, or sweet soup amidst marketplace bustle provides respite and moments of joy. These cultural details anchor the story in specific social and ecological systems where food and drink are conduits of care and connection as much as nourishment. Underlying these scenes is the pressing reality of Truong's work mission and potential long absence. The companion's quiet fears and implied insecurities about this separation introduce a poignant tension. Their verbal exchanges are underscored by body language, hesitations, looks, and subtle gestures that reveal complex emotions beyond spoken words. This subtext speaks to the complexities of rural romantic relationships and the balance between duty and intimacy. Family life, especially the care of young Dewey, frames the story's domestic dimension. Scenes of gentle instruction, nurturing play, and attentive care portray the intertwining of love and responsibility. The narrative reveals how the rhythms of work and family life shape one another symbiotically in rural contexts, highlighting the nuanced roles women often play in both spheres. The landscape emerges as a silent but potent character. The physicality of the orchard, the heat, the sense of ripe fruit, and the shifting light accompany and shape human experience. The orchard's abundance contrasts with the relentless demands of labor, encapsulating rural life's oscillation between bounty and hardship. This setting grounds the story's emotional and thematic arcs, embedding human relationships within a larger ecological framework. Analysis of the story's characters reveals themes of resilience, adaptability, and evolving gender roles. Truong's willingness to share and support, together with the companion's active role, challenge traditional rural gender norms. Their partnership, forged in mutual effort and care, becomes a microcosm illustrating broader social shifts. Emotional expression, particularly male vulnerability displayed by Truong, adds layers of psychological depth to the narrative. The story's pacing, mingling moments of action with introspection, creates a richly textured prose that mirrors real life's complexity. It avoids sentimentality, instead depicting emotions alongside daily realities with honesty and subtlety. This nuanced portrayal invites readers to engage empathetically with characters whose lives are shaped by both struggle and hope. The broader social context, rural economy, community networks, gender dynamics, and familial ties emerges seamlessly in the narrative without didacticism. Instead, it invites reflection on the interconnectedness of individual lives with social and environmental systems. The story honors the dignity and complexity of rural existence through intimate detail and layered character development. In sum, this continuation richly develops character psychology and social environment through detailed narrative. It captures the tensions and consolations of rural life, love, and labor. Themes of partnership, sacrifice, hope, and the passage of time resonate strongly. The story's subtle yet profound examination of human relationships against the backdrop of agrarian life offers an immersive and thoughtful reading experience. The final part unfolds as a profound culmination of the rural life, emotional endurance, and the affectionate bonds that sustain these characters through hardship and change. Truong's impending departure weighs heavily on all as the reality of separation draws near, yet their shared experiences infuse strength and hope amid uncertainty. Truong's character embodies both physical resilience and emotional complexity. His connection to the land is fierce, yet accompanied by the tender awareness of personal sacrifice required by duty. His preparation for departure is layered with subtle expressions of worry, affection, and uncertainty about the future. His determination to face the coming challenges while preserving warmth for his loved ones highlights the multidimensional nature of rural masculinity, strength balanced by vulnerability. Tieu Nu's role as companion transcends traditional expectations. Her willingness to engage fully in arduous labor, to share laughter and fatigue, and to express fears about loneliness reveals evolving gender dynamics within rural communities. Her nurturing of younger family members such as Dewey exemplifies female centrality in both economic and emotional domains. She represents the continuity of care and hope across generations. The conversation around Truong's travel mission is emotionally charged without theatrics. The unspoken pain of potential long absence blends with promises of faithful waiting and mutual support. Tieu Nu's articulate vow to wait for years if necessary speaks to profound loyalty and trust, while Truong's reassurances reflect an understanding of the fragile balance between duty and intimacy. Their dialogue encapsulates universal themes of commitment, separation, and the passage of time. The detailed depiction of guava harvesting anchors the narrative in natural rhythms and cultural specificity. The tactile act of picking, the sensory descriptions of ripe fruit, and the interplay of sun and shadow evoke a vivid sense of place. The orchard serves as a living metaphor for abundance mingled with toil, a symbol of life's bittersweet blend of opportunity and struggle. The market scenes emphasize the social tapestry within which rural livelihoods unfold. Buying and selling are embedded in communal relationships with familiar faces, reciprocal trust, and shared histories shaping the economy. Tieu Nu's interactions with customers underscore the intertwining of social, economic, and cultural life. Moments of respite with sugarcane juice, ice cream, and sweet soup highlight the importance of small joys within hard lives. These culturally rich details provide depth and warmth to the story, showing how food and shared leisure sustain emotional well-being. The narrative also subtly addresses evolving social norms and role flexibility. Truong's supportive engagement in tasks traditionally considered women's work and Tieu Nu's active participation in physically demanding farm labor reflect shifting gender roles. Their partnership models adaptability and mutual respect, challenging stereotype while rooted in deep cultural values. Family life is a steady backdrop, framing emotional and practical realities. The care given to young Dui is portrayed with affectionate detail. Lessons in behavior, expressions of love, and everyday playfulness emphasize the centrality of family bonds and providing stability amid uncertainty. The natural environment is both setting and character. The orchard's fruitfulness contrasts with the harsh heat and physical demands of work. The landscape shapes human experience, underscoring themes of resilience and interdependence between people and nature. Throughout, the story captures the delicate balance between hope and hardship, love and loss. The characters' interactions reveal the understated power of commitment and compassion in facing life's complexities. The pacing, alternating physical labor with emotional dialogue, creates an immersive texture that resonates with lived experience. This conclusion also emphasizes social cohesion and community as vital supports. The close-knit market interactions, neighborly exchanges, and collective labor highlight the interwoven social fabric essential for rural survival and well-being. In the face of impending separation, the narrative embraces uncertainty with courage and resolve. Truong's promise to return and Tieu Nu's steadfast waiting embody faith and loyalty enduring beyond physical presence. They symbolize the human capacity to sustain relationships across distance and time. This part closes with an evocative vision of rural life's cyclical nature. The harvest continues, as do human rhythms of work, care, and love. The character's journey reflects broader universal themes, endurance, connection, and the relentless hope that propels people forward even when the future is unknown.